Look, if you're one of those guys who find that increasing your testosterone just boosts your confidence, and you've come from, a place of, a bit of social awkwardness or anxiety, then this video is for you because you and I have gone through the exact same thing. And here are 8 of the things that I did to actually combat that and increase my testosterone and literally grow a beard as an Asian. Come on, you don't see it often, right? And number 1 is sleep hypnosis. So this is more to do with your mentality and going from anxiety and caring about other people's feelings and all of this stuff to taking a step towards becoming a man, or just a person who is actually happy with themselves, who is secure. And this helped me because that was the only way that I could have possibly stopped caring about other people's feelings, I suppose. And I was the type of guy who would, worry about what everyone thought, worry about, does he find what I'm saying interesting? Should I say this? Or should I be like that? And I would go autistically into charisma on command, trying to be a funny guy so people would like me. And it was literally destroying me, and it was having the opposite effect because people could see the desperate energy. They could see that, I was having these issues, and they just, from that, they just placed themselves higher than me. And it was instantly everything I tried to do to actually improve any sort of relations, everything I tried to do to actually improve people liking me, just did the opposite. And it was I just felt like a weirdo. And so when I came to a new school, the thing that I did was literally every night listen to the same sleep hypnosis. It's by Mindful Wave Studio, and it's How to Not Give an F. And I watched that and I listened to that every single night as I went to bed for months. And before I knew it, I just stopped caring. And now it's become genuinely a part of my personality. And I think it's important for testosterone because it's the stuff that no one talks about. It's the stuff about mentality, and it's the stuff about confidence that no one really talks about. That mental shift, the very first thing, no one talks about it. So I will literally link to you the video that I used to stop my social anxiety. And this helped me to actually branch off and create confidence. And with confidence, I wanted to do more things to increase my confidence. And this was the thing. When you don't care about everyone else's opinions, you start to do things for yourself. And it's so weird to say, but I don't think many people actually just do things for themselves. There's a barrier that they have to go through before they can even think about doing that thing that is solely for them. So having to not give an F about other people, or basically hypnotizing yourself like Mike Tyson did, like Conor McGregor. You hear these people and they've literally hypnotized themselves. I just didn't have that kind of mentality when I was 16 years old. So I outsourced it to a YouTube video, every single other 16-year-old. And what I'm telling you now that I've grown up a little bit more is that this is something that no one talks about, and it does help. Sleep hypnosis is a method of creating intense mentality shifts and intense shifts in your personality that you will experience in a matter of a month. And you won't even notice, and you'll just stop caring about other people, and you'll just start doing things for yourself. The reason why I've started this YouTube channel to begin with was because I was able to overcome that hurdle of thinking about what everyone else thought of my actions, because you start to realize that no one actually gives an F. And that is such a powerful way of doing everything else that is good for your testosterone. And if you're wondering oh bro, how does this relate to increasing your testosterone? That's how. It's the mentality shift that allows you to do every other thing that you possibly ever want to do for yourself. And branching off, number 2 is affirmations. And I'm serious. I literally remember in the morning walking to school and doing the same affirmations. It was, I have high testosterone. I don't care about other people's feelings, like I am an alpha male, as like cringy as that is. It just put me in a better spot because I was trying to change like my mentality, right? We're starting off with like the way you look at yourself, the way you think. And if you can change that, then everything's gonna be easy. And it's like an elastic band, right? Everyone's trying to pull the elastic band, trying to become this like great person. But the moment they give up, or the moment that they find it too hard and let go, the shit snaps back into place and you're starting at square one. So the easy way to bypass that is by just, I don't know, getting a different elastic band that's longer. So what I'm saying is affirmations, right? Like literally forcing yourself into hypnotizing not only when you're asleep, but also when you're awake, such that like all of what you're thinking is just revolved around like this new mentality, right? Because so many of us like have had this like horrible mentality of thinking that like we're not enough, or like we have to do this because I don't know, like maybe your father wasn't around, or maybe like your parents genuinely weren't around and you had to figure stuff on your own, right? Because we're like a generation of what? Internet babies. And now we're like perpetual man children that can't even escape the grasps of like social media and porn. So testosterone increasing is a direct relation to your confidence and happiness increasing. And I'm telling you, these are the things that I did to increase my confidence and happiness that allowed me to do like the shit that you see everyone else talking about. Like, oh yeah, in order to optimize your testosterone, you gotta like get like sun on your balls. And it's like, yeah, that's important, but to even get to that spot, you have to be like somewhat happy with yourself, right? So these are the two things that I started with. Genuinely like gaslighting myself into thinking that I am the type of person who does have increased testosterone, and where I am right now is almost like a shell of what I could be. That's how everyone should be thinking, not in this like scarcity mindset where they think that like they don't have anything. You have to think that you have everything and that you simply just haven't had the opportunity or the time to do it. And now you do. You have infinite time. You have infinite opportunities. And so with number 3, it's growing a beard. And this sounds really like weird to say, but growing a beard allows you to like have that mental shift from like clean shaven baby boy who went to school and like fucking asked like permission to go to the bathroom to a grown ass man. And I remember the first time I grew a beard, it was just like, oh my goodness, I'm not a man child anymore. It's a mentality shift. And it's like leaving behind that inner child, killing it off. And if you can grow a beard, I can tell you exactly how to grow a beard. I did this in order to grow a beard. I used minoxidil and derma rolling. Derma rolling is like micro needles that like go into your scalp, like any like hair follicles. And it just stimulates growth by like poking tiny little like scars in, so like the tissues have to heal better, stronger. That's what I did, and it took like a few months, but now I have like a full beard. And although I'm growing the sides out a bit more and I have it shaven because it's still a little like patchy, I would say that the biggest way to actually understand that you do want to increase your testosterone, that you are increasing your testosterone, is growing a beard and stimulating that beard growth through minoxidil and derma rolling. And number 4 for me was talking to pretty girls and like doing cold approaches. It's like doing the hard things that like you should do if you want to be a man, because being a man means that you shouldn't consider your feelings at all. And if you want to do something, you do it because it just has to happen. So talking to pretty girls increases your testosterone because not only are you doing something that is hard, not only are you not a coward anymore, but now you're in this like caveman brain where you're thinking, oh, I'm talking to this girl, this must mean that I'm like succeeding. I have all the things necessary to talk to a pretty girl, when in fact, right, you're just going up to her and asking her like for what the time is. Promise you, it is beautiful. So keep it extremely like polite, blah blah blah, respect the boundaries. Just try and like talk to girls, ask for the time. Like that's what I started with. I went, oh, excuse me, do you know what time it is? And then like slowly I built it up to like the Andrew Tate, excuse me, I just wanted to say that you're absolutely stunning, and it works every time. And they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you just go, I'm sure you get it a lot. Can I get whatever? Right? Instagram works better because there's less of a pain threshold than a number. So on top of all this stuff, right, just think of it as this. You don't need the numbers. You simply need to talk to girls in order to increase your testosterone and also increase your own self-image, because now you're thinking that you're the type of guy who is allowed to even talk to girls to begin with. So that is how you should start. And I am so serious about this because everyone talks about all the other stuff, but I'm talking about the shit that you start with. The shit that you start with from like absolute zero. And so from there, you can start doing things that are much better for you. And that is number 5, sprinting. Sprinting for me has been the number 1 exercise to have increased my testosterone. I literally feel like I can do anything after a sprint, like 24-hour motivation, like just everything is possible, because for once in your life you are exerting 100% of your effort, and it's like some saber-toothed tiger is like following you or something, and afterwards all of like the dopamine and everything's released because you're like, oh, I survived, I'm faster than a fucking saber-toothed tiger, and it just goes crazy. So like I'm telling you right now, sprinting is really good for your testosterone. It's really, really good. It's really hard, so it's like a discipline thing. Like all of the things that I told you build discipline because they are hard in some sort of way. Like the first 2 or 3 are just on your creation of discipline and the initial steps and mentality, but the rest are like the literal baby steps you gotta sometimes make, because some of these cunts who are like 6'8" and like full of muscles are like telling you on like PEDs that like, oh, all you gotta do is like lift heavy, and it's like, yeah, I understand, but like I've literally like lived this life for like however long, and I need baby steps. So this is where I'm coming from. And after all of these things, right, then you can go into things like sleep, which is number 6. Having good sleep is such a beautiful way of just regulating your mood and just feeling happy with yourself. And like Brian Johnson, a guy who spent $2 million every single year on his health, has said, when you have poor sleep, everything feels impossible and you just feel like garbage. But when you have good sleep, everything is possible and you're happy with yourself. Your own self-image is a direct indicator of your own happiness, and with happiness comes things that like you do for yourself. If you're happy with yourself and you love yourself, you're going to start doing things that show that you love yourself. You're going to start sleeping early, not because of the mechanism of sleeping early and like, oh, if I do this, blah, 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 but because sleeping early helps you. Sleeping early makes you feel better. Like I have cold showers because it simply makes me feel better about myself. That's literally all it is. And it's understanding that the consistent things in your life are the things that you enjoy. It's not the shit that you don't like. And you gotta start small with it. Like when I did cold showers, you know how I started? I started with hot, and by the end of it, lukewarm. And I did that for a year until I could get to the point where I could only have cold showers. And now it's been like, what, 4 years, and I don't even think about it. I am telling you that is such an easy way of just starting sleeping, because everything feels possible after that. And after that, with number 7, you have diet. You have things like supplements and just like intermittent fasting. Like what I would say for this case is to not have cereal, because cereal is horrible for you. It's too much sugar. It's like too much whatever garbage they put in. If you're going to have something in the morning, have 8 eggs. That is a surefire way of genuinely like just mind-blowing amounts of like testosterone, I'm telling you. 8 eggs, coffee, like just intermittent fasting if you want to. Don't have any carbs. If you like, look, carbs are good in the sense that if you want to build strength, but if you want like just laser focus, like when I was doing exams, I wanted laser focus, so I would do intermittent fasting and just have caffeine in that period, just a cup with some butter, because it blocks that satiety. And all of this really improve your health, and you just feel better to begin with. And if you want to look at like supplements, I'm taking one right now, and it's ashwagandha. It just helps with being calm, and as a result, when you regulate your mood, when you regulate your health, oh, shocker, your testosterone increases. So all that's all I would say. Just avoid some things like cereal, avoid some things like soda. Like, bro, if you want to have a soda, my quick tip is have a glass of water first and see if you still want that soda. Like, that is like game changing. You literally have a cup of like cold water and you're like, oh, why would I ever want that synthetic garbage? And you feel like on top of the world. So the very last thing is just like a bit of a vague thing, and it's trying to be a man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have been trying to do this for a while. And it's like shifting my mentality from like a boy, right? A boy who's like, looks maxing, blah, blah, blah. I'm still like doing some of this stuff, right? Like, I still have like the, sorry, where is it? I still have like the jaws sizer that I'm like trying to do more of and be consistent with. But trying to be a man in the sense that you do things not because like, oh yeah, like I want people to like me. Don't get me wrong, it's a great form of motivation, and if you're in a gap year or something, you lose that motivation, and things like uni, things like social situations allows you to create that motivation where you do things so that, like, you know, you look better in front of other people. But if you want to be a man, start doing things not because of how you feel, but because of what is important as a man, the duties you hold. And I am trying so hard to do this right now, and I've looked and went through all of this information about how to be a man, and I'm still struggling. And I'm starting to realize that religion is important. I'm starting to realize that silence is really important. I'm starting to realize that using social media and doing all these things clouds your judgment and clouds your inner monologue so that you don't even know who you are. Being a man is knowing who you are and dealing with it and organizing the boredom and being okay with being bored or anything else, and then doing the shit that you cannot do regardless of how you feel. So that's all I would recommend. Those are the 8 things. I hope it helped in some sort of way. And if you liked it, like, share it with another person who you think might like it. Like, it helps the algorithm. I'm a small like YouTuber, bro. Like, help a brother out.